County Schools. We are so excited to be here today, and as we learn the technology as a team, we are excited to be sharing it with you as well. So bear with us, as this is our first time doing a live event, and we're really excited to be doing it today in order to bring this training to everybody. I am Andrea Singrio. I am a Microsoft Learning Consultant, and I am thrilled to be here to share Teams 101, just the basics to get started with Teams today. A couple of quick things that are pretty standard session etiquette. Make sure your microphone is on mute. You guys probably don't even have the option to unmute right now. And then we're going to show you where to type in questions. We don't have a Q&A turned on for this session, but we are going to show you in Teams where you can ask these questions in just a few moments. Today in this session, you're going to be able to create a class, add students to a class, adding co-teachers, creating channels, and a couple other fun features as they've become available. Again, this is kind of what we're covering today. The Q&A is going to be in a different location. We're going to show you in just a moment. And now I'm going to go live to a Teams demo. So before I do this, I want everybody to find on their computer either their Teams app or open up a web browser and log into Teams. You can do so by going to office.com and then logging in. I believe your Verge platform also has the link to Teams. Those would be the areas that you can get in with your DEKALB credentials. All right, I'm going to back out of my presentation here and head into my web browser for Teams. Hopefully yours looks very similar to mine. As I get started, I am going to open up my team. This is the team that I'm a member of, and I'd like to, at this time, invite you all to join this team and be members with me. All right, I am going to go into my team, and I'm going to go into Manage Team, and I'm going to go into Settings. And down here under Team Code, I'm going to generate our team code. So if you will take a moment to jot that code down for me, somewhere that will make it very easy to enter that code. 7TFVW7K. This is one way that you can have students join a class team. If you have a way to share a code with them, it'll make it very easy for students to join a team. All right, now I'm going to go back to all teams, and right over here in the upper right-hand corner, you should see join or create a team. Go ahead and click on join or create a team and type in the team code at this time. And again, that code is 7TFVW7K. All the letters are lowercase. And then you will click Join Team. And that should bring you right into our team, Teams 101, Navigating Teams for Teachers. So at this time, I should start seeing folks entering the team. Going to give everybody another moment to join the team. Again, the join code is 7TFVW7K. You guys are doing great. Again, I'm going to repeat that code just to make sure that everybody's gotten it. 7TFVW7K. And we are getting all kinds of people joining. I am so excited to have all of these folks join. I don't think I've ever seen so many people join this fast. I love it. Okay, so while you're still joining, I'm going to go ahead and get started explaining channels. You're in this demo team to learn and build and grow, so feel free to make mistakes in here. But I'm going to create a new channel where we can specifically ask questions. So to do that, I'm going to hover over the 3 dots next to the team name, and I'm going to click Add Channel. And I'm going to call this Q&A. Just kidding. I'm going to call it Questions and Answers. Doesn't like my ampersand. And I'm going to automatically show this channel in everybody's list, and I'm going to click Add. All right, so now we have a question channel. So if you have a question, I'm going to ask 2 things, and now I'm going to share a little bit about posts. So don't anybody post here just yet, but under the questions area, I am going to go whenever you add to a conversation, especially in the questions area, because we want people to be able to review these questions to potentially find answers for themselves if they can't, if they can't find, before they ask a question. We want them to read through or search through these questions. So I'm going to click the A format button. And I'm always going to give my conversation, my new conversation post, a subject. So let's say I have a question about emojis. I'm going to give my subject a title, which is going to make it easier to search through. And then I'm going to ask my question. How can we use emojis in Teams? And then I'm going to hit send. This now asks the question to everybody. And if you know the answer, make sure that you post a reply by clicking on reply. So making sure that you have the subject always listed for your questions, and then typing in the question itself. And then if you know the answer, typing in reply and then answering the questions. So here I'm going to say, oops, typing too fast. And now I'm actually going to click on that smiley face and add an emoji. I know you guys can't see me, but my favorite color is purple, and I love that this emoji has purple hair. And I also feel like That's what's happening with my hair right now because I haven't been able to get to the salon to get this hair situation taken care of because I desperately need some color and a haircut. All right, so does everybody understand? Thank you guys for answering. Making sure that you hit that reply button to answer questions so that the conversation stays all together. All right, making sure that conversation stays together really helps if somebody comes in searching. So I know somebody a few minutes ago asked a question. So Andrea, I love your name. I want you to see that you did not hit reply. You actually started a new conversation. These can become disconnected and disjointed, making it very difficult to search which ones you, making it very difficult to search this area. So again, big pet peeve, always make sure you hit the reply instead of starting a new conversation down here. So this group, I love what's happening with all of these emojis. But I want you to make sure that you are replying to the original conversation rather than starting a new conversation. All right, so now does everybody understand or hopefully you understand where to ask questions. So going back to this emoji example, up here you can see your emotional response emojis. This is a great place to say, yes, I understand how to use emojis, so you can interact with me this way. Since we won't be able to see your questions in a standard question and answer area, you can use these emojis right here to let me know that you've seen this under the question and answer channel. And I believe we have 215 people on this call or more. So go ahead, I see one person. Show me you know where these emotional response buttons are. You can click any of them that you like, just that way I can see how many we have. Awesome. Now watch what happens when I navigate away from this channel and come back to this channel. You will see that my emojis conversation is near the bottom. We still have folks over here adding their own conversations and not replying to our original conversation, which is okay because we're testing it out in this team. But make sure that you're using this reply here in this conversation and not starting a new conversation. Okay, so feel free to ask your questions in this channel. I have Jasmine and Laura who will be monitoring this channel to ask questions, to answer questions, and to refer questions to me as we're going on. Since I'm currently in this channel, I know we don't have any questions just yet, but we'll get back to them here in a moment. Okay? All right. All right, to get back on what we're doing and get back organized, now that we've got our question and answer station set up, I'm going to finish going over the channels that we have here. The channels that we have here are our general channel, which is kind of our catch-all channel. I actually don't use this one a ton. This is just where I post general information. I like to keep my communication otherwise organized in my channels. I have announcements. Announcements are a great area if you just want to make announcements. So because I'm an owner, I'm going to start a new announcement by going to the formatting button, the A button. And instead of a new conversation, I am going to change it to an announcement. Welcome to Teams training. Blue's not really my color. Purple is definitely my color. And so I might change the background to purple. I can also go in and choose an illustration. And again, purple is my color. And so I'm selecting the purple dragon, and it's an announcement, so I'm going to change that here. I'm going to add my subheading and say April 14th, 2020, 11. Sorry guys, I'm in California. I wanted to make sure I had the right time zone here. And now here in the body of the announcement, I'm going to use the @ symbol, and I'm going to tag the channel. That's a really long channel or a team name. No big deal. You can hit the backspace button to shorten that up one word at a time. Okay, so now I have tagged someone in the, I've tagged the team, I've written out my message, but I really want to put some emphasis on DEKALB, so I'm going to make it bold and underline it just to bring some attention to that title. And I'm not going to do this, but I could post it in multiple channels by selecting multiple channels and saying select channels, and I could select additional channels. If I was actually a member of additional teams, I could put this information in to more than one team if I liked. So now that I've made my announcement, I am going to push send. And now if everybody will navigate over to the announcements section of the team, that channel, and going over to that channel, you will see the announcement but will not be able to reply. That's because I set this up as an announcement channel only. So you will see under announcements, it turned bold because there was additional information here for you to utilize to come and see this. You'll also see under activity, which is the upper left-hand corner, that you were tagged. You'll also see under teams, there was an @ mention for the entire team for you to be able to come. And I love that you're letting me know that you've seen it by selecting one of the emotional responses. This is super helpful if you are giving information to students or wanting to share things with your staff as a leader. So when you push...
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but we have some people that wanted you to slow down a little bit.
Okay, I can do that.
Thank you.
No problem. And thanks for that feedback. I appreciate it. Okay, so here, I love that we're getting the emoji responses. That's great to know that everybody has seen it. Next to that is the 3 little dots, the more options, and there's always so much more inside of those little dots. So when I click on these dots, I can save this message. So when I save this message, it means I'll have easy access to get back to it. So I'm going to click save this message. You'll see that it saved it up to my profile. So when I click on my initials or my picture there, and I go to my saved list, it's going to pull up my saved items. It'll be a long list here, and I can just click and it'll take me right to it. If I had additional items, I would see that. So I'm going to go back to where I was under announcements, and I'm going to hover over and go to my more options again. I can use translate and immersive reader in these as well. So we don't have time to go over these all today, but I do want you to be aware that they're there. Immersive reader is a fantastic, a great way to personalize that and do some inclusion tools, learning tools for students. And another time, I'm happy to go over it if you haven't seen it before. All right, so that is what you have inside those little dots, as well as your edit and delete. So I think those are important things to note when you're doing announcements. All right, I'm going to go back to general for you, and I want to go over some additional information on making a post. So again, I'm going to go to format. I'm going to give it a subject. And now I'm going to attach a file. I can browse from my computer, upload from other teams and channels, or I could look at recents or OneDrive. I'm going to browse other teams and channels. And I'm going to go into my demo area because I know I have files there, and I can select the ocean paper document. And now I'm adding a link to this document right here, and I can say, and now I can send that. And so now you'll see that I have I'll try and slow down a little bit more. Info on teams, and I've attached a document here on the slide. Okay, so now if I go into my demo area, my demo channel, I'm going to show you a couple of tabs along the top. So along the top, you have tabs. This is posts. This is files. Files are anything that have been posted to the channel, whether you post them as an announcement or a post, or if you upload them right into files. And then if I go to my other tabs here, you'll see that I have the Oceans Ocean project, which is a Word document. I've added as a tab so that it will open up right here inside of Teams. And if I click on Edit, it will open up into a Word document that everybody inside of the team has the ability to type on. Exactly. Thanks for adding to the top. This team, or this document, whenever you add a document to Teams, when you do this, when you add a document to Teams, it becomes collaborative, which means everyone will be able to edit the document. So keep that in mind. Your students and your staff will all be able to do this. Okay. My friends in the moderating or in the question and answer section, if you guys want to come off mute, do we have any questions on what we've covered so far, which has been channels and some of the tabs across the top?
I have a few, and Chaz, you can take over whenever, but someone said they've disabled their sound. There's a couple of people that said they can't hear, and how do they fix that?
I don't know, because that's going to be specific to device and items like that. I would really recommend putting in an IT ticket. We will have this session is being recorded, so you can let them know that they can see that recording when it gets posted, and they can tune in again tomorrow. We have another session at 1 o'clock. Maybe they can get their sound fixed by then. I wish I could be more help, but.
Okay. Another one said, can you change the closed caption from Spanish to English?
On PowerPoint, yes, on PowerPoint, and I'm just going to show you that really quickly if that's okay with you guys. Here in PowerPoint, I can go to Slideshow, and I can select Always Use Subtitles, and I can select your spoken language, and then your output language. There are 65 options here, as well as Klingon. I try to use languages that are inclusive as possible for my students. However, if English is the best option for you, then go for it. Whatever is going to be the best for your students in your classroom. And then under the subtitle settings, I always select above slide, whether I'm doing this in person or via a webinar, because I don't want any banners or menus to cover up the closed captioning. And when I'm doing this face-to-face, I don't want to walk in front of the closed captioning, because I was one of those teachers that like covered up the whole board, you know, walking around. So that is done in PowerPoint.
Okay, another one said the live video is blank on my screen and appears as a white box.
I'm again not sure.
Okay, okay.
That's going to be a technical issue. My best bet would be to go out and come back in.
Okay.
I have one that says when a student will post outside of a thread as the moderator, can we delete them or add them to a conversation?
As the moderator or as the owner of a team, you could delete them. But you wouldn't be able to add it back to a conversation, like to add it underneath a thread.
Another said, I do not have the save button option in my announcement.
Save button, I'm not really sure, but you should have, in the announcement section, you won't be able to reply because that's the way I have it set up, is that it's truly just announcements. All you can do is click on the emoji responses. And there's not really a save button when you're making announcements. There's just a send button, which is the paper airplane.
Is it possible to turn off the notification of new replies?
Yes. So to turn off the notifications of replies, you'll want to go to your profile picture or your initials in the top right corner. And you'll want to go to settings. There's actually a lot here. You can change it from light to dark mode, grid view to list view. Grid view means you'll only see one team at a time. List view means that you'll see all of your teams at the same time. This team that I have, or this tenant that I just pulled up on the screen, has the list view, which does allow you to collapse and open your teams up for whatever you're working on, just as an idea there. And then if you go into notifications, you will see all of the different options for how you can change your notifications here. You have banner, which is the purple banner that's coming up at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen if you're on a Windows 10 device, and in the upper right-hand corner if you're on an Apple device. For me, I usually just select show only in feed because I'm in Teams every day, all day long, and it really is the hub of my communication for all of the groups that I work with. If I was working with students, it would be where I would communicate with students. All the staffs that I work with, they're all inside Teams, and that's their hub of information that goes over everything. And then email really becomes external communication, talking with parents, talking with learning companies and different supports and vendors and those sorts of things. So Teams really kind of consolidates all that communication into one place and allows that collaboration piece as well. So you can change these notifications to whatever you would like. If everybody wants to take a moment to do that, feel free, and I'll go ahead and field a few more questions.
There was a question to if you could go back over how to make an announcement.
Absolutely. So to make an announcement, you can make this announcement from any channel, but I'm going to start by clicking the format button when I'm starting a new post. And then do the drop down at the very top left, and I'm going to change it to an announcement. I'm going to type in my announcement heading. Then I can modify the colors or the background. I can give it a subheading. And I can then type in a message. And I can tag individuals like Jasmine. Again, if it's Jasmine, sorry. If the name is too long, you can hit delete, and then you can have just their first name. And then continue to type out a message. My creativity is lacking, friends. And then you can include an emoji, a GIF, or a sticker. And then you can hit send. Okay. That's announcements. Now I'm going to move into how to make a team and how to do meetings with students. If I go to Teams and go to All Teams, I am able to click on Join or Create a Team. I personally, because I'm a vendor, am only able to join with a code. So I'm going to pull up my demo tenant over here, and I'm going to go to Join or Create a Team from List View. And I'm going to go to this Create a Team. This is a blue button, blue-purple button of Microsoft Teams. And you're going to have 4 options to create your team. The difference between these teams are very small, and it really comes down to a OneNote notebook, as well as assignments. So in the class team, you have assignments, and you have a OneNote notebook that is designed for class. Under the PLC team, you have a PLC OneNote notebook that is designed for PLC collaboration. Under staff, for our school leaders, this is very similar to a class team. It has a OneNote notebook that's set up for staff, which means every staff member has a tab and it's direct communication back and forth to the administration team. But it does not have assignments. And so that's the big difference between a class team and a staff team, is there's no assignments. And another team is like anything else you could use Teams for, very similar to what the corporate world uses. Okay. And so that's how you would create a team. Now I'm going to go back to my DEKALB team here. And I'm going to go into my navigating teams for teachers. And let's say you already have a team. You're able to click on the 3 little dots of your team, and you can go to Add Members. And this will pop up, and you're able to just type in student names. That's a guaranteed way to ensure students have been added to your team. Again, I'm going to click the More Options and go to Manage Team. And now that I'm inside this panel, you'll see that I have my members, and you'll see that I have 443 members. I love having you guys here. This is awesome. This is a great number of people in here. So now that I have everybody in here, I am going to search for Michael Williams. He's a member, but he's like the big guy in charge of information technology. So I want to make him an owner of this team. I can simply do that by selecting him and switching him to owner. So now you will see that he'll be changed to owner. And you're able to do this for any member, switch them between member and owner. So you'll see that we have 3 owners in a moment when this refreshes, and you'll be able to see your members down here. This is where you can modify those things for your students. But let's say you want to tag a group of students so that when you use @mentions in Teams, you'll be able to just tag a small group. So I can tag here. I'm going to create a tag. I'm now tagging these 3 people into group 1. So now I can use that group 1 as an @mention for this team whenever I make an announcement. While I'm in here under managing team, if anybody had requested to join the team, I would be able to approve those here. Everybody has a join code, so when you have a join code, you won't see those requests. Channels. This is where I have my channels. I can add additional channels from here. I can also choose what is shown for me over here. You'll also see that I have some hidden channels over here. It looks like other folks made these channels, and so they're not shown for me. I did select the question and answer help me channel be shown for everybody. So unless you have chosen to hide that channel yourself, it is shown for you. All right, going under settings. Team picture, pretty straightforward. You can change that team picture, and there are some provided theme pictures, but let's talk about member permissions. Here, I'm going to change a couple things. Allow members to create and update channels. I don't want my students to be able to create channels or create private channels, so those are now turned off. Allow members to delete and restore channels. I'm going to uncheck that because I don't want my students to have that power. Add and remove apps. I'm also going to uncheck that because I don't want my students to have power to do that. Uploading custom apps. Nope, they don't need that permission. Allow members to create, update, and remove tabs. Okay, that's fine. Allow students to create, update, and remove connectors. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that one. Connectors are connections outside of Teams to, for example, like Outlook or another app, something along those lines. And then I always leave these 2 checked for my members. The option to delete their messages and the option to edit their messages. I think that's super important for students to be able to have that. I know I used to send staff emails all the time, and I would discover right after I hit send that I wouldn't be able to edit it, and I would have noticed a misspelled word or a wrong word after it had already gone. So I appreciate having these options available. Guest permissions, you guys shouldn't have guests in your team right now, so we'll cover that at a more advanced session. @mentions. This is who's allowed to use the @mentions. You may want to take this away from students, but for a staff team like this, it's cool for you guys to have this. The team join code. Again, you'll hit the generate button here. This is a great way to have everybody join the team like we did today. Love having 400 and something teachers in a team like this. The fun stuff, if you have students that can't handle it, or maybe you want to turn it off and allow them to earn this privilege, you can control the GIFs, the stickers, and the memes all from right here. I highly encourage you to use the fun stuff. It really helps give your class team personality. And then tags. Who's allowed to use tags? Only owners or all members. So I'll allow all members to use tags, and this saves automatically and is good to go. All right. Do we have any questions on settings while I'm still in this area, ladies?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
just backing up, what is the best team to create? Well, I don't know if you would know this, but what is the best team to create for IEP meetings that include staff and parents, students, staff, and parents? Is that possible?
So that really would be more in creating a meeting specifically. And I'm going to go over meetings next, but that would be what I would use for IEP meetings. I would not be creating a team for every IEP that I'm working on.
Okay.
Are you able to show how to add students to a class?
Yeah.
Sure. So you have two options. You can do the join code like this once they log into Teams, just like you did to join this team, just like you did to join this this team, or you can go to members and click on add member, and you can type in their name and it will start popping up based on the global address book in DEKALB. So once you start typing in whether your student emails start with a student number or an email or their name, you would start typing that in until it comes up, and then you would click on it. So if I typed in Michael Williams and clicked on that name, it will need to be a bubble like this that you could close, that you could X out to make sure that it will be added correctly. And now when I click add, it's going to say already exists in the team.
So they do have to put in a student email. They wouldn't just put in the student's name.
Correct.
Okay. Is it possible to add existing class OneNote notebooks to a class team?
Yes. So for example, I'm going to go back to my general channel and I'm going to go up here where I can add additional tabs and tap the plus sign. And OneNote is right here. And you'll either, because I don't have any in DEKALB, but you'll either have a list right here you can select from, or you can create a new one.
Is there a video feature that we could use with our students?
So I did bring up here in the department meeting, as a team builder, I added a Flipgrid for everybody to respond to. Don't feel like you need to go do this now because we are getting short on time. But I also added it as a tab at the top. So quarantine survival snacks is my topic. And then I can, as a student, I can go into this Flipgrid and I can add my video to it. That is for getting one-sided video. That's not a video conference or anything like that. I'm now going to show you how to do a meeting with students where they will, as I understand it in DEKALB, will be able to interact with you vocally, but they won't have camera access. So I'm going to go here to my meetings tab. And now that I'm here, I'm going to select this little camera across my formatting options in my team. When I select this camera, I'm going to allow. And this is what we call a meet now. This is the safest way to meet with students so that they can't go into a meeting without you. So I'm going to go into a meeting like this, and I'm going to say bio cell. That's the topic of my session for teachers or for students today. And I'm going to go ahead and put meet now. And now this is a meeting inside of a meeting. I could invite additional people if I wanted to, and now I have my control panel for my meetings. Can you guys still see me?
We're looking at your
Yeah.
your team screen.
Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't hang up on you accidentally because all of a sudden it did that. So now I have this meeting happening and other folks may be joining in this meeting. So it may confuse them a little bit, but now that I'm in another meeting, this is where I can have that meeting with my students. So I have my camera here, my microphone. I can share my screen with students. Selecting here. I also have my more options here where I can also end my meeting. This is really important to help students and you to make sure a meeting has ended all the way, to make sure students are in a meeting without you. So I'm going to click on End Meeting. And I'm going to end the meeting for everyone. And now I was able to meet with my students right here. Students should not have this Meet Now button. And so you just need to let students know that you're going to be having that meeting and for them to come join you in that meeting inside the team. You'll notice that we have other Meet Nows happening. This can happen if additional adults start other meetings, but because you would be the only person as an adult, you or your co-teacher, you would be the only ones to be able to start a Meet Now inside of a channel. And that is the best way to go about meeting with your students. Because as long as you use that end meeting, students will not be able to go back into those meetings without you. If you just post a link or send them a link to their Outlook calendar, they will always have access to go back in that link and join a meeting. That is a known issue with Microsoft, and they are working on that very, very soon. Hopefully that won't be an issue anymore, and we'll be able to use some of the other ways to schedule meetings. But right now you want to use Meet Now inside of a channel. So I would create a channel that is just meetings or live lessons or something along those lines. All right, we've covered a lot. I know we've covered a lot. So I'd like to take whatever the remaining 8 minutes that we have to answer any additional questions and remind everybody that we will have this session again tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and you're welcome to join in again tomorrow. Any questions?
Can teachers join more than one meeting?
Yes, you can have breakout rooms, so you can join in different channels. One person can be be active in one meeting and have up to 3 other meetings on hold.
Can you generate a code for parents to join?
For parents, you'll want to invite them from the calendar and provide them a link. So just like you would in Outlook, if you go to your calendar inside of Microsoft Teams and you create a new meeting, you would create your title and everything like this. You would type in the parent email address here, and then it would have a join a Teams meeting link right here inside the email that would be sent to them.
Where is the meeting tab?
It is on calendar at the left.
I'm getting
and then the meeting button is in the upper right-hand corner.
If we are seeing a message like the person you are trying to reach can't receive team calls, or administrator has disabled chat for this user, does this mean we need to speak with our school district, or is this just an error?
Those sound like settings from the district level, and you should put in tickets to your IT department.
Are we able to contact outside users while we are in a meeting, like calling a parent or using an interpreting service?
Not at this time. You can use the call feature to call other email addresses that have Teams set up. So for example, if you wanted to call me as a Microsoft learning consultant, you could call my other email address, but because I'm a Teams client. So you won't know if parents have that ability or not.
Okay. So there is I've had a couple of these. Please, is there a way to see her and the chat or create while she's going through directions? So
the best way to do that is a secondary device. So having your phone next to you watching the presentation via the Teams app on your mobile device, and then on the screen. When somebody's sharing their screen, it's not as easy to do that if you're not in a meeting situation. We're in a live event right now, so all you're able to do is see my screen and hear my voice. You can always shrink the video and then navigate through Teams.
All work that is submitted on Teams is collaborative. Is all work collaborative? Is there a way for students to upload assignments?
So we did not go over assignments in this webinar today. We were just going over the how to use Teams. We can schedule additional sessions, whether it's for your school or at the district level, to go over assignments.
Okay. What are the differences in the categories? Mentions, messages, other. If time does not allow, a document will suffice. Because that was from Angela.
I don't know that I understand her question, so I will follow up with Angela after this, and you guys can continue to ask questions in this team. If you will mention me, Andrea Singrio, when you type in that question, that will make sure that it notifies me so that I can check them, and I'll probably check in on these questions once a day. So don't expect instant response from me. Other folks may respond right away, but I'll do my best to check on each of my districts about once a day for their Q&A.
Okay. Is it possible to turn off the notification of new replies? This speaks volumes for how distracted I am, and that covers up my typing section.
Yes, go to your profile and go to settings, and once you're in settings, go to notifications, and if you go down to chat, you can turn that off. You can also do replies. This whole section right here is how you'll want to check those notifications.
Okay. Do you see anything that I missed, Chaz? A lot of them are asking where this session will be, the recording will be posted, and when will it be available?
Those are great questions that maybe we should make an announcement in this team following this meeting, because I don't know where internally DEKALB does that, and we may need to make sure we get the right links and all of those set up. And it will take a little bit of time to process, but it should be posted by the end of the day.
Okay.
Well, I want to thank the folks I had moderating, Chaz and Laura. You were super helpful. Keisha and Terry, thanks for being my producers today. Thank you to Michael Williams for allowing me to come in and share this Teams information with you. I'm so excited for you guys to start on your journey using Microsoft Teams. I really think it is the best way to communicate and collaborate with students. I'm here to help. Again, I'm Andrea Singrio, and I look forward to working with you guys in the future. Good luck. Have a great day, guys.
And real quick, we will be posting a link for you to complete a survey after you log out of this, I just posted it. If you would please take a couple of minutes out of your day and fill that out, that would be really helpful for us.
Also, there is a website that the teachers can go to for documentation and short videos.
Yeah, the help section right down here in the bottom left is where you will find all kinds of stuff provided by Microsoft, videos, trainings, and what's new. And then also, thanks for the reminder, guys, Ignite You and Connected and other resources. Your site internally is posted with your information.
All right.
All right. So long, everybody.
So long.
Thank you.